Welcome to the Dog Pound, and I'm here with James King, the co-host of the show, and we got a special guest. That's right, Detroit is in the building. Tyrone Ivory. Welcome to the show, Ty.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We good, we
Uh,
good. Hey, it seemed like you and James King was getting to know each other, so I'm gonna let James King start him off.
no, I was just talking about the cold up there. How cold it was, 30 degrees. And Ty was talking about where you get used to it. I'm like, no, no, you don't get used to the cold.
Hey,
No,
Tolerated.
I,
You
I,
tolerated.
people forget that I grew up on the East Coast. No, 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 you don't get used to the cold.
well, you,
Uh, now I've been out here so long, I've developed what they call California cold. That means anytime you get under 60 degrees, I need to put a blanket on my bed. Okay.
this guy is rubbing it in, boy. Hey, Ty, he rubbing it in, boy. He's spoiled now.
You hear him up there talking about, you hear him talking about California cold. That ain't cold. That's summertime for us.
Exactly. That's
hey,
Tupac's song,
hey,
California Love,
hey,
boy.
hey, man, look here. Like I said, in Pittsburgh, it used to snow every the first day of spring. It's gonna snow. It
Yeah.
might just be a dust, but it's gonna snow. The only thing I want to see
Okay.
snow out here is on my TV, or if I happen to go to Big Bear. But other
Yeah.
than that, snow is not in my future. I'm sorry.
Not anymore, right?
Right.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no,
No,
no, no.
game over.
You have to come out here and visit me.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
If you ain't fighting in Las Vegas or Texas or LA, yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, hey,
But
that's how we met. Hey, we met out there. We met. I was out there fighting in L.A. Indio,
Indio, California.
Indio. I
Yep.
be forgetting what it's called. Indio, yeah, Indio, California.
Yes,
You
Indio.
gotta
Yeah.
take that special plane to get there. You catch
Yeah,
a
yeah,
plane to
yeah.
Los Angeles, then you get on another plane, a little small one. I'd be scared to get on that boy. I'd be like, man, where's we going?
Yeah, I done jumped out
Little-
of planes bigger than that, but
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Ty, there, tell us a little bit about your career. I was looking it up. I saw you were 11-5, and K9 said that you had an accident that took you out of boxing. Do you still train? Do you still get involved? Like maybe teaching some of the guys
Yeah,
that's in
I
the
work with the
joint.
children. Yeah, I work with the children. With train the youth. I hook up with K9 here and there too. We get to work out and stuff, and so I stay involved with the program. I'm never gonna leave it.
That's right. That's right. Along with Keith Jackson, whenever we can catch up with him, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
those are Steve Jackson and guys like that. Those are our mentors. Those are the guys that put us on into the game. Got us motivated and trained us and took us all over the world training as amateurs. So
Yeah.
it was
Absolutely.
it was fantastic. So
I
I'm
told
looking
him.
to
no,
give back kids myself.
I, I know it was quite a long time ago, but back in the day, we used to have, like if a guy showed some promise, while he was locked up, or maybe he was a former, amateur before he got locked up. Some of the guys from the outside might come in and give him some pointers. As a matter of fact, we even had some televised fights from right out of Rawway Prison back in the day. Is there any type of programs like that going on within the correctional system today?
No, they've really cut out a lot of things. Like a lot of they've cut out a lot of extracurricular activities, I guess you could say. Everything is kind of like in-house now. They don't really have. They have volunteers come in, but not for athletics. It's mostly for like uh, educational things and stuff like that. You know, nothing
Uh,
for like boxing. When I got started, I was hoping that that was still around, but they say they stopped that like in the late '80s, early '90s.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. I was last out in 1982. and
Okay.
it's so yeah, a lot. I mean, we had basketball, we had baseball. I mean, we had guys to let off that steam, man, because being locked down 24/7 is it ain't no joke, and that's on both sides. Not just on the inmate, but on the people that come to work too, because you take out that frustration, they going home. You at home.
Yeah,
It's
right.
it's a
Right.
big
Yeah,
Yeah. How long? How
absolutely.
long? No,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how long you been actually at this job?
I've been doing it for 11 years now. So
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
yeah, so it was 11 years. I started back in 2010,
Okay.
uh, in November 2010. So going
Okay.
on 11 years.
Do you
Yeah.
ever see do you ever see any of the guys that was there that's out of there now and they see you on the streets and be like, man, what's up, Ty? Man, thanks for them little them cookies or whatever.
Yeah, I say
Them
the cookies.
Lunchables.
I, I do see some of the guys. It's amazing because you got to remember people are people, no matter what their
Yeah.
situations are.
Yeah.
They're people. So I
Yeah.
never really have any problem with anybody
Yeah.
because I'm always me K9, so I'm always me.
Yeah.
So I'm always the same every day. No
Yeah.
matter what uniform I got on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, both y'all actually know a whole lot about that system. James, I mean, what do you know about the system? I know you was in the system for a minute too. I mean, what was it that you didn't like about turnkey? Or what they call them? What they call it? They say turnkey, but what they call the
COs.
COs? What
CO.
else? Huh?
Yeah, COs.
Okay, okay. It was
Well, well,
something else.
well,
Wardy. There we go. The warden. The warden. There you go. I think
well,
that's what.
it's very seldom, that you have to see the warden. I mean, at least it
Okay.
was back in the day. I don't know how it is now. I mean,
Okay.
you might have saw a lieutenant or maybe a sergeant.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if you got in any type of trouble, you might see a lieutenant, and then sends you to the hole. Now, if you are an habitual guy, that then you might see the warden on your way out. But
Yeah. Now
just,
you
I mean,
you know too much about it, James.
hey, look, hey, uh, I have no qualms about my life. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I got you.
I'm still here. There's a
Yeah.
whole lot of people that ain't.
Amen.
So I'm
Amen.
so I'm
Amen.
good.
Hey, what?
It's not about where you. It's not about where you've been. It's where you're going.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, Ty, do any of them ever try you and they just don't know if they be trying you? Like, boy, you just don't know, boy. This is what I do. They don't really want to try you. Take
Uh,
that
what
the
what what
badge off.
what you'll what you'll find out is guys know more about you than you think they do. You
Okay.
know,
See.
Okay.
guys will come up to me and be talking about what I did, and I'll be
Mm.
looking at them like, "How you know?" You know what I'm saying?
Okay. They got computers in
So
there?
it ain't even ain't no secrets.
Okay. 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 Oh yeah. I mean anything to get on your good side too though. They gonna try to get on the good side. Like, oh Ty, man, you was the man, boy.
Right, right. And then every now and again, what you do, you're gonna come across somebody that know you anyway, because
Hey,
it's a small world.
that's true.
It's a
That's
small. You know how
sad.
the boxing world is. It's just
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
boxing world. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? We
That's
one
true.
person away from knowing the next guy.
Uh-huh.
So
Now,
it's the same.
now,
It's the same.
now let's get to the bacon. Let James know, about the cold team we had. We had a team like Crunk, Adam Bustle Recreation Center. Tell him we had some
Uh,
real killers.
it, the crazy part about it too, James, is it was only about 5 or 6 of us, but it seemed like it was 90 of us because we were so hot at one time. But it was only five. It was only like 5 of us.
Exactly. Exactly. And whenever Ty fight, Ty come back to the dressing room, got mine, it's your turn, K9. Then it was my turn, K9
Yeah,
got him Rambo, your turn. Then Kenny
yeah,
got him 13, your turn.
yeah. That's how it was.
Yeah.
we worked off each other. You know, we never
Absolutely.
never left nobody behind. We worked off each other, so we was all hard workers.
Yes.
So when we went to tournaments and stuff, if all five of us fighting, we gonna get at least 4 wins.
Yes.
If very so
Yes.
simple. And most of the time, we was getting 5 wins.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
you
I,
know,
yeah. I
but
feel like
we wanted.
Yeah, I feel like Ken used to be putting pressure on me because he'd go in before me and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I just got him." I'd be done had a hard fight, and I'd be like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
maybe I should have went
And
first."
Kenny was the type of guy too. He gonna let you know.
He
He
sure
gonna let
did.
you know, man.
Yeah,
You supposed to pop this guy, man. You supposed to get this guy, man. You don't lose to
exactly.
no guy like that. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Hey, hey,
So
hey,
that
hey
little
look.
extra pressure you had.
Hmm.
Ty, I see you have some pictures there in the background, man. Do you keep a
Yeah,
lot of memorabilia from your time when you were
yeah,
fighting? And what was your
yeah.
most
I,
memorable
I
fight?
I had some stuff that I had, but I had fortunately I had a house fire and I lost a lot of my pictures and my stuff that I had. So I basically got a little stuff that I got from other people that had kept things and everything. But that picture that you see, that's a picture of me in the background. And one of my coworkers, he uh he drew that for me off a photo
Okay.
that I had. Yeah, so and he's not even a professional artist. He did it. He taught himself. He drew that
Wow.
photo, and it's a real good photo there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the guys you probably come across in the joint draw too. Uh,
Oh
you
yeah,
find some
those
very
guys.
you find some very good artists.
Yeah, those guys have mad talent. Not just drawing. Even in music and all type of stuff,
Oh
man. A
man,
couple of
yeah, yeah. I'm telling you.
T Grizzy, the rapper T Grizzy. He was at my place. You know,
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
yeah, yeah.
He
He
told us
came.
he's at
Yeah.
my
Yeah, he was
place.
he was at my place.
In the
Yeah,
white, the black
yeah.
house or the White House. I guess unfortunately the black house, huh?
Yeah, it was the Black House,
It
man.
was a black.
Yeah, yeah, it was the Black House.
Wow.
But once again, it's a proven fact that you don't it don't end right there. You know what I'm saying? It's not where
Exactly.
you end, it's where you're going.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Wow.
And
Unbelievable.
I try to inspire and I talk to different people about
Yeah.
different things, inside and outside. I tell them, it don't end right there.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like my boxing career. I got injured and I couldn't continue to do it. You know how I love boxing now, you
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
but it don't end right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got a second journey. You know what I'm saying? My
Yeah.
desire is to be the next great thing since Emmanuel. That's for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Manny was
Yes.
our guy to look to. So
Yes.
I'm looking to be the next great thing since Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Coming out
Yeah.
of the city as a trainer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it,
You was a
it, it, you know,
now,
go
now,
ahead.
now, Ty, that means that me and you have to have some very long conversations because I used to talk to Emmanuel at 10 o'clock. I'd start at 10, and I had to say about 2:30. I have to say, Emmanuel, I have to go to sleep now.
wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, because once Emmanuel gets started talking about, I mean, and I mean, he's had every fighter or known every fighter in the world. So by the time he gets through his bottom 10, you're
Right.
already, sorry, Emmanuel, hold up. I gotta absorb this and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I mean, Emmanuel
Right.
is a person that if you wanted to know boxing history, if you wanted to know how to throw this, or who the best guy was in the gym, or hey, Emmanuel be right
Yeah.
there. And K9, come on, K9, give us that Emmanuel voice.
Well,
You got it.
Tyrone Ivory was one of the hardest trainers that ever came to the gym. So I just, he went over the muscles. I don't know why he went over the muscles. He just came over the crunch, But he did what he did. I'm very proud of him right now because he's still helping the youth. So I commend the man.
You sound just like him too, man.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh man. You get around somebody, be around them so long, man, you catch on to what they say and how they talk.
Yeah.
But when you get in front of the HBO cameras though, oh man, he be that man was a good fighter, you know what I'm saying? But I just think that he should have thrown the jab a little bit more. But then you get around you and he really don't really feel like being bothered. So it's like, okay, so I'm gonna come back to the merchant. What you gotta do is get to now. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Be gone. He be like, what did you say? He be gone. And Don King, look, a conversation with Don King and him would be the greatest. Look, oh man, you did it to me again, man. You did it again, man. The Shawana came out and both of them guys, so you just can't be everything that changed back. Yeah, it's a different day. That's right. I love the dog pound.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Hey, Ty, man, listen. A lot of people don't know though, but I had a guy that I thought, and you too, was a great fighter. I even believe he was better than Floyd Mayweather. Do you know who I'm talking about? That trained with us, that fought with us. Which one?
Kitty?
The other one. He retired early. Rambo.
Oh yeah, but Bo was a different type of fighter. He was one of them. Bo was mean, man.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't teach that. Bo was just mean. Like he was the smallest guy on our team.
Yeah.
And he didn't care about that. He would spar with us.
Yeah.
I weighed 140 and he weighed 112 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wasn't the biggest guy that he would spar. He would spar with you. He would spar, and you were 47 at the time. He would spar with Pharaoh, who was a 65 pound.
Yes.
Jay, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He pound for pound. I would say he was better than all of us pound for pound.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have no other 112 pound guys to work with. He had to work with all of us.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So he couldn't be nothing but great because we all was good. And he had to work with us. The closest guy to his weight was 119. Yeah. That was either 13 or Kenny,
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah,
he was a beast. That boy, man.
What's up, Vince?
He was a monster, man. But I think the game itself, when he was fighting in the Olympic trials and he didn't get that win that he should have got.
Yes.
I think that kind of put him in a different, like, even though he turned pro after that and had some fights, but I think it put him in a different mindset about the game.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I gotta admit though, you was the hardest worker in the gym. I mean, you was the first person I saw with, with the hot sweat, the sauna suits all soaked. When you take them off, man, it's water everywhere. I used to be like, man, this guy here. I used to think you was crazy. Like, man, why is he working that hard? Like, then I ended up being the same kind of guy. I see why you worked that hard. You used to go hard.
Yeah, and the thing is, man, it's either go hard or go home. That's how I look
absolutely.
at it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be prepared for anything I may come across in that ring.
Yeah.
And if I'm physically and mentally ready, I can fight. And the fight part was easy.
Yes.
It's the physical and mental part that you have to get over. Yeah. If you believe that you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
But if you don't physically and mentally get yourself ready, I don't care how much skills you have.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not going to succeed. You're not going to do well.
Right.
And I try to implement that in the kids I train now. I tell them, if you can do half of what I did, you'll be a monster, because it's a different generation. It's a different era now.
That's right.
We came from the era of watching Tommy Hearns and all them guys get in 15 rounds and go to war from round 1 to 15. So we came from that era. So we understood that you got to be ready.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
These kids, they see how easy Floyd make it look, and they think that it's just gonna be like that.
Right.
No, you got to work hard to make it look like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. You're right.
So that's what it's all about. And
Yeah.
I always try to teach these kids like
Yeah.
you don't you don't have to be the best fighter. You just
Yeah.
have to be prepared.
Right.
If you prepared, if you well prepared, you're gonna beat a lot of people.
Yeah. Now Floyd used to come out on the bustles, right? Did you ever spar Floyd? Because I know he sparred with I think Kenny and fought Kenny.
Yeah, he sparred with Kenny and fought Kenny. I never worked with Floyd because Floyd was a little. They were small then. Floyd when they were sparring and stuff, they were like 100. Floyd was like 106 pounds. He was a
Okay.
little guy then.
Okay. I
Yeah, he was
figured
like
that. Okay.
106, and
Okay.
I weighed 126 at that time. You
Okay.
know. Yeah,
Oh.
so Floyd was like too small. So he and Kenny would always go to war, man. I mean, I'm talking about they would go to war in the gym, man.
Wow.
Some days, Floyd, you know how the gym works. Some
Yeah.
days you look good, some days the next guy look good. You know
Yeah.
how that works.
Yeah.
I try to explain to guys all the time. I say, listen, boxing, boxing is a sport that, hey, you know how many days I done went to the gym and
Yeah.
hated y'all? you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's been them days I came to the gym and I bust everybody's butt,
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all had those days. We
Yes.
had those days where one day you popping, the next day somebody else popping, the
Yeah.
next day, and it's like you come in the gym, you like, hey, it's and you know how we did it, K9. We
Yeah.
went to war in the gym.
Yeah.
You would think we didn't even like each other,
That's right.
because
That's right.
that's how we got it in, because we
Exactly.
pushed each other to be great. We pushed
Hey.
each other to be better,
Yes. Yes.
and we would beat each other up. But then when we go to them shows, it's on and popping.
Easy work because the hard work was in the gym.
Easy work.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because our hardest thing was the preparation. The
Exactly.
preparation
Yeah.
was our hardest thing. The fights wasn't hard. It was
Yeah.
the preparation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey Ty. So we got to have our next guest on. So you want to stay on with the next guest, man, or you want to call it a night? I know it's been a long night for you.
Well, I'll stay on a little bit with them, and I'll let y'all know when I gotta go.
Okay. All right. All right. So yeah. So all right. Let's get our next guest on, Mike Weber. Yeah. But yeah, Ty, it's definitely been a privilege, man. I'm glad that you ended up successful, and because a lot of our peoples ain't here no more. Yeah, Ty. Oh yeah, we got some muscle loss, Ty. Mike.
Hey, how you
Mr.
doing?
Weber.
How you going today?
We're doing fine.
Good.
I was looking at, we just had your headliner on the show last week, Gilberto, and I
Yes.
saw that you are the CEO of Fight. Is that a streaming network similar to the other streaming networks, or exactly what is your platform?
Yeah, we're a digital sports network platform that specializes in combat sports, boxing, pro wrestling, MMA. We've been around about 5 years. We've got about 4 million registered users, and a lot more people know about us from about 2 weeks ago because we aired the Tyson Jones fight and did quite well with that. And that event was a hell of a show.
Wow.
Right, and now you have another event coming up. When was it? This weekend?
Yeah, it's this Friday from Galveston, Texas. Yeah, it's Ramirez versus Lopez is the main event, but they got about 11 bouts on the card. Should be pretty interesting. What's really cool about it is Zerto. This is he's the promoter behind all this. Him and his partner David Chu, and we're sort of excited what they can do. So they sort of done it on their own. I've been pretty impressed with how they been able to work it. We love Top Rank, we love PBC, we love Matchroom, but these guys are independents, and it's refreshing to see somebody taking a step out of their comfort zone and putting their own boxing event on.
Well, not only that, but I was kind of looking at your background and fight, and it seems like you, as an independent, it's almost like one of those guys that explores for oil. You know, I mean, you want that slow and steady stream, but you have to have that gusher once in a while. Like you said, you hit it big with the Roy Jones, Mike Tyson. Now you're with an independent gentleman like Gilberto and Zerto Promotions. So how do you? Is it a knack? I mean, as we would say in the culinary business, is it an acquired taste or what?
Well, I mean, fortunately for me, I've been in the business for 35 years. I worked in primarily pro wrestling with some boxing and motorsports doing pay-per-view events. We launched about 5 years ago, but we've done about 4,000 live pay-per-view shows since we launched. And I'm a big believer in practice makes perfect. We have a good technology to deliver this programs. And we fortunately work with everybody. I mean, last weekend we had top rank and PBC boxing events on the same time, but we also had pro wrestling events from New Japan and Impact Wrestling, and we got AEW Wrestling tomorrow night. So we got a little bit of everything on there. And we do get some big events. We got a lot of middle-sized events too. We've done 3 of the Canelo fights, and they've done quite well for us too. In the past, the Golden Boy. We did Canelo versus Triple G 1 and 2. Great fights, did very well for us and them. So we've been building, but digital TV is all about cord cutters. Fewer and fewer people have cable and satellite now, so we're their option now to how to watch these great events.
So are you a part of that Roku and some of those Fire Stick and those? Have you managed to sneak into that realm?
Yeah, we sort of snuck into them. We sort of have Fight available pretty much everywhere. So we're on Roku, we're on Apple TV, we're on Amazon Fire. We're also on Comcast. They call it the X. It's not Xbox, but we're on Comcast. We're on Contour for Cox TV. We're also now. What's pretty cool. We're on. If you buy a Vizio TV at Walmart, pull the TV out of the box, and the Fight app's already loaded onto their TV. So we got Vizio, we got Samsung, we got LG, Philips. So that's another way that we make our product available around the world. We also, we've done like the Jake Paul and Logan Paul fights and so forth, and done quite well with those outside the U.S. We've sold our programming in probably over 160 countries at one time, and we do very well in the UK, most of Europe. We're doing live boxing event Saturday from Spain, all in Spanish, and they do very well with us. We're doing fights from Mexico. The boxing has really taken off. I think a lot of it has to do with the COVID situation that, ESPN and these guys, Fox Sports, has fewer football programs. And boxing is cheaper and easier to put out. I don't know about it's cheaper, but it's easier because you don't have to have so many competitors. It's easier to protect against COVID with these boxing events. And so there's been a lot more boxing events coming out there now.
Speaking of events, and maybe it's something that you have in the works and you can't discuss, but you've talked about a lot of participants, and the two that really caught my ear were when you were talking about Logan Paul, and then you were talking about Floyd, and you were talking about Japan, and am I reaching too far here, or am I trying to connect the dots?
We actually did air the Mayweather, the Mayweather fight with from Ryzen in Japan 2 years ago. We did air that. We pretty much try to air everything that's out there that people want to see. We are in conversations with Famio, which is doing the Logan Paul Mayweather fight. So we'll see how that turns out. We hope to have the rights to carry that for them. And there's a lot of other fights, as you guys have probably heard. This Tyson fight really caught a lot of people's attention of how to make money. But one of the things about the Tyson fight is you had Mike Tyson there, Roy Jones, people love them in boxing. But then you have Jake Paul in there. That's a whole nother generation of people who want to follow him. And then you have Snoop Dogg, and that's a whole nother group of people who may not be fans of the other. And bring them all together, you get a pretty good sized number of people watching that show.
Exactly.
Okay, K9, you want to interject there before I keep on going?
Hey, we know you will keep on going. Hey, yeah, Mike. So you doing business with Triller then, huh?
Yeah, we had real pleasure working on Triller. Great group of people. They know how to do marketing, and we're excited to work with them. And we didn't know what to expect with the event, but they put a very well-produced event together from Staples Arena there. Great lighting, great sound. The music was, very well received. And I think they sort of changed how you're going to see boxing events in the future, I think. They came up with a different way of doing it, make it presenting. And guess what? They didn't need an audience the way they did it, and it worked well.
Yeah, you're right. Did you get some of that $30 million that they profited?
A little bit.
Yeah.
It was a very good event for our company.
Yeah.
Not only did we make a few bucks, but open up some more opportunities for other events. Just a week after that, we aired the Spence Garcia fight that PBC put out on pay-per-view, and did quite well with it. We're very happy how that went.
Oh, wow. So you've been in the game for a nice minute then, for a long time, or you just
yeah.
Okay.
The company's been doing it. We've been doing this for 5 years.
Okay.
But one of the things about what we're doing is not only myself, I got about 3-4 people who work with us. We've all been doing this for 25, 30, 35 years. So we've had a chance to work with everybody in the business. I mean, I don't want to age myself too much, but I guess I already have. But I've worked in pro wrestling, WrestleMania 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I left to work for somebody you may have heard of before, that owned casinos in Atlantic City, named Donald Trump. He, I don't know if you guys remember back in 1989, 90, there's a Trump Sports and Entertainment Organization, which bought rights to Tyson fights and Holyfield and a lot of these other kind of boxing events there. And that was a great experience working with the Dan Duvas and Lou Duvas and so forth at that time.
Okay. I know we had Tyrone Ivory was just on. We're gonna have Mac on in a minute, but he wants to know where you from. I guess he might know you.
I don't know. I'm a native of Ohio. I actually live in Akron, Ohio, the home of LeBron James. But I grew up in a little farm town here in Ohio in the Midwest. But yeah,
okay.
There's a couple other Mike Webbers out there. They did a story where they did an interview with me of Yahoo. Okay. And they did they put my Twitter handle in there, but it wasn't my Twitter handle. It was Mike Weber Jr., who used to play for Ohio State, which I'm a big fan of. Yeah. And he plays for the Green Bay Packers now. So we're not the same person.
Yeah.
Mike, just to make you feel a little bit more at home, I'm from Youngstown. So.
Oh, love Youngstown, right down the road. A lifetime ago, I worked in Ashtabula, which, if you're from Youngstown, you know where Ashtabula is at.
Of course. Good fishing up there. Good fishing.
Yep.
That's one good thing about Ashtabula. But when you talk about high school football and you talk about Barberton and Massillon and all of that whole experience around there, and so I know about K9 and them kidding me about living out here in California, but I know about playing football in the Ohio cold. Believe me, it's like
the high school I went to, I think, got beat like 2 years in a row by Cardinal Mooney.
I'm from
a town called Coldwater, which is on the other side of the state, on the interstate line. But they played schools like Cardinal Mooney, which I'm sure you're real familiar with. They're really in football. Yeah.
And there was some pretty good boxing teams out there too, especially right around that time. You had a lot of amateur boxing around that time. But Mike, one thing that I was kind of concerned about was what happened between the Zone and Canelo. And I was wondering if there was a trickle down effect. And by that, well, maybe I should say a trickle up effect, because now you have fighters like Gilberto that are able to produce their own events on a major platform such as yours. And probably 5 years ago, when you first started, you had more competition because the big boys had bigger purses.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely different than it was 5 years ago when we launched. One, we had to prove ourselves, and the one thing was a problem 5 years ago. Nobody had really done a really good job streaming live shows. There'd be buffering and technical issues. Our company's actually, while I have a heavy combat sports background and been working in televised events, our founders, our technology, are a bunch of engineers from Sofia, Bulgaria. They developed the technology first, okay, and really fine-tune the streaming. And then I got involved with them to help bring them content. And we had enough associates of ours and people who know a lot of people and were able to have the credibility to get these events on air. So, but when it's all said and done, technology wins. If we had a bad streaming experience, we wouldn't be in business anymore.
Now, how are you able to string these bands from, say, like you're talking about, like from Japan, and different places? I know there's, a lot of satellite technology involved and whatnot, but it doesn't matter if you're not bringing on something that's going to appeal to the audience. Like you mentioned this week, you have a show in Spain. So when you look for your content, is that part of your job, or is that part of some of those around you? Because I mean, that's a lot to kind of keep under one's own purview, right?
That is my primary job. I focus pretty much on the boxing and wrestling part of our business. I also bring in some motorsports events that we do. But there's another gentleman with me who's, was one of the first employees at UFC. He's been in the MMA business for over 20 years, and he brings a lot of our MMA fights into us from around the world. But it's just a lot of working the phones and communications. And fortunately, we're in a position now they're calling us, and we decide what we can make work on our platform. It's amazing how far technology has come, because when we did our very first event was a live show from Japan. That's the first event this company ever did in a test about 6 years ago. And I think it was more complicated getting that signal than we sang a man to the moon. Now, I mean, I did a call this morning through WeChat with a guy in China while I was driving home from the gym. So, it's amazing how technology has changed such a short time in making programming available. We do live programming from Japan on a regular basis. Spain we do use satellites for some programs, but pretty much the internet's a beautiful thing, as they say. It's pretty cool.
And I would imagine it would be cheaper also, right?
Yeah, it is much more cost effective. But think about it, even what we're doing right now, only 4 or 5 years ago, this would have been a pretty high tech thing to do, a real high tech thing to do. And I'm pretty impressed with your system here, and I think it's a good viewing experience.
Well, thank you very much. You can thank K9's lovely wife for doing that and putting this together for us. And she gets a big shout out to her.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, exactly, Mike. For sure, you need some assistance. SD is for hire.
Well, no, I mean, we do stuff like this now. I'm doing about 2 shows a week like this. We use like roundtable discussions with the day before the Tyson show. We had Andreas Hale on from Sporting News, and we had Dan Raphael, formerly of ESPN and USA Today, who's a pretty respected boxing writer, giving their opinions of the fight. And we think that's a great marketing tool and it's good exposure for the event.
Yeah. Dan Raphael, he covered a lot of my fights.
Oh yeah,
man, he a real good dude. He was one of the guys I just recently fought November the 7th, and he one of the guys that actually reached out to me and was like, "Congratulations, K9."
Yeah, he's been a real pleasure to work with, and he's he's dedicated.
Yeah.
Probably 25 years now as a boxing writer.
Yeah.
And he's well respected in the business. We like working with him.
Yeah.
We've also had very good relations with Bill Kaplan. Mike, I'm sure you've enjoyed working with him over the years. The Golden Boy.
Oh yes. We work with Golden Boy quite a bit. We had a real good relationship with Golden Boy doing the Canelo fights, and then they decided to take that big payday at the Zone. But we never lost contact. We don't hold grudges in this business. Things change, and we'll probably be working with them on some more events coming up.
What about the fight that everyone is probably anticipating? Again, I'm probably getting a little ahead of myself here, but Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Would you possibly be, is the fight somewhere I might want to think about subscribing to or putting on my calendar?
We haven't booked that fight yet, but one of the things that's nice about what we're doing, we do 35 live shows a weekend, a little bit of everything, big events, small events, and everything in between. And then we go farther, boxing and wrestling and MMA, and throw some motorsports in there. We did a marathon last weekend from Spain, which was a qualifier for the Olympics. So we do a little bit of all of that. And what's great is we have a strong relationship with both PBC and Top Rank that we air, at the very least internationally, all their events every week. It seems like they're doing events, or at least 2 to 3 times a month. They're doing events, and it's worked out quite well.
How are you doing? As you mentioned, with no audience or with very limited audience, who is that marketing genius over at your organization?
Again, it's one of those things that experience pays off. We have a woman named Kim Hurwitz, who's our CMO, our Chief Marketing Officer, and she's in the past worked for Combat Karate prior to coming to us, but she's also worked for DirecTV. She's also worked in the cable industry for the past 25, 30 years. And so he's been a big marketer of combat sports events. And she's been a fantastic addition to our team. She's been with us about a year and a half now. And it's been, she's helped us out quite a bit with unique marketing programs and building relationships and building affiliate programs of getting people to help us promote. But what's great about pay-per-view, we make money, and of course the promoter makes money, so we're partners. So they promote, we promote, and it seems to work out pretty good.
That's something that is another new wrinkle in this industry also, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Cable and satellite, DirecTV and Dish, they just have a little bit different business market, and their focus is on all kinds of programming they're putting up there, whereas our focus is 100% pay-per-view for events. And I've been around pay-per-view since the mid-'80s, and in some ways it's changed, in some ways it hasn't. When I started out, every cable system, there was no satellite at that time period, but every cable system had somebody who had the title of pay-per-view marketing. Well, those positions don't exist anymore. They automate things and do things in a very general way, opposed to how they used to really promote heavily locally. Whereas we're able to really pinpoint, we have focus. There's nothing else we do other than these pay-per-view events.
Well, it has been very good. K9, do you have some more questions possibly for Mr. Weber?
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Mike Weber, man, you very low key. You know what I'm saying? You like a good thing. You like one of the greatest things since sliced bread. Boy, I'm glad that I had an opportunity to meet you. I've met like the president of HBO. I had his number. We was cool and everything, and I heard that he was actually about to resign or it was about to fire him. I'm talking about the president of HBO because they got rid of boxing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are you talking about Mark Taffet?
Oh, not Mark Taffin. No, he had been left.
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying. Peter Nelson. Yep, Peter Nelson.
Yeah, I've met Peter a couple different times.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
Peter Nelson.
Yeah.
Me and Peter was about to do some business, man. When I was about to get ready to fight Tim Bradley. But
Right.
unfortunately, that's a long story. It's a long story. But, yeah, I don't know what James King be getting these great guests, man. James be trying to keep up with me, even at his own age, Yeah. So Mike, so what you do is you actually do streaming. You do a lot of streaming and pay-per-view.
Yeah, we do some free programming too because we want people to keep coming to the platform and get familiar with it. But yeah, primarily it's all about live streaming
Okay.
on every platform you can think of.
Okay.
Anywhere you can watch Netflix, you can watch Fight.
Okay, it's called what again? It's called Fight.
Yeah, FIT. That's how we like to spell it.
Fight.
Keep
Exactly.
it, keep it simple there. Yeah, right there.
Absolutely.
The other side, Mike.
Yeah, I got my hands in love. Yeah. So yeah, up there.
Your military left.
Do you have any fighters? Do you have any fighters? Are you interested in promoting any fighters, or do you manage?
Well, we don't get down to the individuals as much. Fortunately, we do know a lot of people, but it's all about the events and the promoters. That's who our partners are for all these events.
Okay. So what can they catch up with you, or someone that's trying to catch up with you, and trying to throw an event? You got to actually be a promoter to be able to link up with you, because actually what you do is you actually promote events.
Yes, we take the events. We work with the top ranks and PBCs of the world and the Golden Boys of the world and Matchrooms. I think I'll be talking to Eddie tomorrow morning because he's got a couple fights coming up this weekend for the zone. So yeah, we talk to everyone. Yeah. But we deal with all levels. We got some guys who just know they have a gym and want to put a local show on. We work with them as well. Some of them done it as fundraiser for local Golden Gloves type relationships. We've done that somewhere in the Midwest a lot. There seems to be a lot of good boxing gyms like that who decide to stage their own events for fundraisers and give their up and coming guys a little exposure. And we want to support the sport as much as possible.
Yeah,
Mike. One of our guys wanted to know.
There you go.
Do you do anything for the amateur program as far as seeing, getting them signed or getting them seen by the public?
Yeah, actually, so I don't do everything. We do have some other people there. I did get an email that we finally connected with USA Boxing today, and we're trying to work with them as well to get more amateur boxing on here because we you guys have been involved in boxing. We need to build it. It needs exposure. It went for quite a few years. You could hardly find any boxing on TV, and COVID sort of helped with boxing, in my opinion, because the events are a little bit easier to put together than some other events because you don't rely on the crowds as much. And but I think we still need to keep building boxing. There's a lot of up and comers. Actually, I think the Jake Paul and Logan Pauls have been good for boxing. They got a lot more young people interested in the sport.
I agree. A lot of people say that's bad for boxing, but a lot of the young people, they don't follow boxing. They be on Instagram, Snapchat. They be following the rappers. So so guys like like you say, Jake Paul and them, those guys are bringing the young people too. They got followers, lots of followers. So they bringing it to sport of boxing. So now they want to be like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, and they want to box now. And that's a great thing.
And they're good Ohio boys, no less, from Rocky River, Ohio, right outside Cleveland.
James.
I knew James want to hear that.
Hey, absolutely.
Everybody go to Ohio to get some work. Come on.
Oh, yeah. It's my guys, we have like a secret handshake here.
Hey, the Detroit boys, you beating them Ohio boys up all the time. James know it.
See, he's still living in the past. See, Tommy Hearns is retired.
No, he coming back. Oh, he might want to fight on one of your shows, Mike. Because Tommy Hearns, you had him on the show the other day, and he talking about some man. If it's the right person, right opportunity, he said he'll do exhibition. I said, Tommy. I said, well, glove up then. He said, well, glove up, K9. I said,
Hey,
Yeah.
I think Sugar Ray watching that fight the other night with Tyson. I think he's ready to get back in the ring too.
Oh, well,
Uh,
you got
I wanted to ask you about that, Mike. Is it really something that seriously thought about? The what 50 and over league.
Well, if they all look like Mike Tyson, there won't be anybody left because he'd kill anybody, I think. I've had the pleasure of working with Tyson a few times over the years, and he blew me away. I didn't know what to expect, but I mean, he looked like he was almost in the prime of his career, you know. And you guys probably, if you saw the event, you know, Roy Jones, great fighter, always has been, but he was sucking wind after that event, and Mike wasn't even out of breath at all.
exactly.
So.
It looked like
Mike was ready to smoke another blunt. See,
I think he was, yes.
Hey, it looked like Roy Jones. It looked like Roy Jones was like he was hurt. Like, you know, he didn't look like. I mean, I know he's 51 years old, but it looked like he was favoring his hip because he didn't move like he. Of course, not like he used to when he was younger, but he still didn't move like I expected him to move.
Well, you know, I could tell from experience I don't move the way I used to do either.
Right.
You know, at my age, you know.
Yeah. But you know, I look up to Roy Jones, and I would never, you know, throw shade on his name, him or Mike Tyson. Now, I looked up to both of those guys. Those two guys were one of the reasons why I even actually started boxing. Mike Tyson was, and then Roy Jones kept me excited about learning something different and something new.
Yeah, you know, they did good. I was very impressed with them. They certainly did not embarrass themselves. It was a credible fight. It's what people wanted to see, and it was a great event. I was really happy how it turned out because it could have gone wrong in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It wasn't it like number 9 as the highest pay-per-view
Actually,
time?
8.
Yeah,
actually 8 was eighth most watched pay-per-view event, and I think
Okay.
Mike Tyson probably has 3 or 4 of the top 5 already.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Mike works at the box office.
Okay. Well, I definitely, you know, I got a son. You know, I don't know if you know exactly who I am, but I'm a former 2-time boxing world champion, and I'm the oldest world champion in junior middleweight history. So I got in the ring last month, November the 7th, and I stopped a guy in round 5. So I definitely want to, you know, see what I can come up with. You know, I want to do a little promoting myself, and I got some people that, you know, got a couple dollars in their pocket, and I want to definitely tap in with you.
Oh yeah, well, James knows how to get hold of me, so we're ready to go.
Absolutely, James. You know how to get a hold
All
of me.
right,
James.
Mike.
Don't be acting funny.
All right, Mike. All right,
Ohio
Mike.
boys. Yeah.
You have a great night, Mike, and I want to thank you so much, man, for coming on the
Yeah.
show. It was like very last minute, you know, because
exactly.
I just got in touch with him yesterday, and Mike says, "Hey, man, let's go." So, you know, I want to thank you so much, Mike, and go ahead and get your last words, K9.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, if you got any social media, anything like to let the people know, because I'm quite sure people in here they tapping in.
Yeah,
we're
everything with us is Fight TV, FITE TV.
Okay.
Now we got the fight this Friday. Starts. We got prelims starting at 7, main event starting at 8, all Eastern times here. So yeah, make sure you download the Fight app. It's FITE and check it out. It's some good events, and there's a lot of other programming on there as well.
Okay. All right. Well, appreciate you, and you have a good night. And don't bark if you can't bite.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. I enjoyed it.
All right, thank you, Mike.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
I thought you'd enjoy having Mike on K9. Every once in a while, I do find some gems. Do we have Mr. Burgess in yet?
Yeah, get both of them. Yeah. Mr. Burgess.
Okay. Him and his son.
Okay. Huh?
It might be him and his son together. I wanted to. I was hoping he could get his son on. His son made his debut on the 12th, I believe it was, and he's 1-0 in his pro debut. They're from his boxing gym is actually in Spring Lake. Just a little history there. When Spring Lake is right by Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is a part of the 82nd Airborne.
Yeah. Tony's in. He's back. He's in the building right now. Can you turn the screen sideways? Turn your camera sideways.
There you go. There
There
we go.
you go.
We
We
have
in
you
the
full
building now.
screen.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good evening, Mr. Burgess. How are you doing this evening?
Doing well, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I was just telling everybody, giving them a little background on Spring Lake. If they didn't know, it's practically a part of Fort Bragg. And back in the day, in the 80s, I used to drive cabs around Fort Bragg and kind of familiar with Spring Lake. So I know about the boxing history back in those days. You guys out there in Spring Lake, actually, I believe Spring Lake is where we did a lot of special forces training out in those woods out there around Lumberton, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, you might see J.K. scribbled on some of them trees out there, but so, I was telling everyone that you had a show on the 12th. I think this was that your second show of the year.
That wasn't really mine. It was Southpaw Promotions out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. They did it in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I had two fighters on that show. Reese Mitchell, he's now 3-0, and Frank Popoca Jr. That was his debut. He won it. He's also signed with James Toney.
Okay. I know M. Talley had told me something about your relationship with James Toney. So, how long have you been in the business, sir?
Probably about 10 years. I opened my gym up 3 years ago, but I've been around boxing a right good while, and I opened the gym up maybe around 3 years ago.
And what made you decide, especially during that time, to open up a gym? It must have been pretty risky, especially down around an army town where you also have that competition from the special guys up there. Those guys that don't do nothing but sit around all day. You know which guys I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. I was in the automotive business, and I had an amateur boxer, and I was in business with his father for over 40 years, and I wanted to turn him pro, so I opened that gym up, and everything didn't work out. But I mean, I really opened the gym up for him. But that's how it sometimes.
Yeah, but you stuck to it.
Yes, sir.
Was that your son I saw that won his debut?
Well, I call him my son. He's from L.A. He's in the military, and I treat him like a son. He's just like a son to me. I tell everybody he's my son, and he calls me Pop, calls my wife Mom. But I mean, he's really a great kid. He's 21 years old.
And how long has he been boxing? And what was it about him that made you decide to take him under your wing?
When I opened my gym up, Fort Bragg boxing team came over there. They started a new team, and that was their home base there. And he was one of them. And after they dissolved, he stayed with me. So he boxed amateur for me. He's been boxing since he was 8, 9 years old in L.A. And then when he came to Fort Bragg, he came over to my gym.
Now that must have been a kind of culture shock both ways.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, how did you get him to adapt to that country living?
Well, I mean, I really don't know. He goes home a lot, but he likes it here. He's fixing to get out of the military, and he said he's going to stay here. So I guess North Carolina's going to be his home.
Hey, well, he has plenty of places to run. There's no doubt about that. He can get plenty of road work in.
Yes.
Sparring. What do you do for sparring? Do you use the fluffy guys over there on Fort Bragg and beat them up or what?
I got a lot of guys in the military that comes to my gym. I have 35, 40 members there. And we always invite people on the weekend on Sunday once a month. I invite other gyms and all over to get our sparring in. I got a lot of
Yeah.
amateur boxers also.
Okay. Now, how did James Tony come to notice your fighter?
James, the guy that started the Fort Bragg boxing team, is real close with James. And I met him through him. His name is Corey Goodman. They call him So Fine Waverly. And him and James is real good friends. And every time James is here, he comes to my gym, and I make sure he signs autographs to people and stuff. And I always got a crowd waiting on him when he gets there. But James is a real good guy. He's a close friend. He started a promotion company now. He's supposed to be throwing a show, I think, in February in L.A. They're trying to get it all worked out. They had a show in Columbia, October the 31st, James Tony promotion. Frank was supposed to fight on there, and then somebody got quarantined over there at Fort Bragg, so he couldn't go. So Reese Mitchell fought on that show.
Okay. Okay. K9, you have some questions or some things you'd like to talk to Mr. Burgess about?
Yeah, what's up, Tony, man? I know it was a pleasure actually meeting James Tony.
Yes, sir.
What happened? I mean, I know James too though, but James he a good guy, cool guy. He from
Yeah.
Michigan. And
Yes.
did he taught you say he really inspired the kids and everything?
Oh yeah. I made sure they had gloves and T-shirts and stuff for James to sign when he came. He's a likable person. All the kids loved him in the gym, and the adults. A lot of the younger adults don't know who James is, but I
Yeah.
mean, and also Ray Mercer. He lives here in Fayetteville, and he comes to my gym all the time.
And you say you located where again?
Spring Lake, North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a lot of
Yeah.
boxing down there where you at? North Carolina?
We got a right good bit. Got a bunch of guys from Charlotte and stuff. Stevie Massey, Lamonte Early, um, uh, Joe Jackson, Calvin King. We got a lot of good boxers over here in North Carolina.
Yeah, how long you been actually in a sport of boxing? I mean, did you used to box yourself?
No,
Amateur
sir,
pro?
never boxed.
Okay.
Always been around it. I'm a USA boxing amateur boxing coach and a ref.
Okay.
Never boxed,
Okay.
but I love the sport.
So you said you a USA amateur boxing coach and referee?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me ask you a question though. So if you was refereeing a fight, I already know your answer. And you was refereeing a fight, and my fighter fought against one of your fighters or kids, would you kind of like push when you say break, push my fighter in the stomach a little bit more, to get back, just to take some out of the stomach?
No,
You would do that?
I wouldn't do that.
What would you do?
When
How
I
would you break
judge,
it?
I judge fairly.
You,
I,
you,
I whether I don't even judge my people.
okay, that's smart. That's
I mean,
good.
I won't do that. I'll get up from the table. I won't judge my people.
Okay, okay. And when did you actually first start? And when did you actually first get in the sport of boxing? Like, when did you first start, or when was your first entrance? And who was the fighter that made you say, "I want to get involved in boxing"? Whether I referee, throw shows, get my own gym. Who was the fighter you looked up to that said, "I want to do this boxing. I got to get in
You know,
boxing"?
I've always liked Muhammad, but Mike Tyson is my guy. I love Mike Tyson. I love James Tony.
So you said Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson
Oh,
was the one that actually influenced you to get into boxing. So you got into boxing a little bit late because you're a little bit older than Mike Tyson, right? Or are y'all the same
yeah.
age?
No, I'll be 65 next month.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, you all right? You still work out yourself?
Yeah, I work out a little bit at the gym.
Do you ever spar with the kids? You ever spar with any of the kids? Like, just play with them. Because I spar with a lot of little kids, and I know they can't hurt me, and I definitely ain't going to try to hurt them. Just to give them a few little pointers and help them to be able to actually get better without them taking a lot of punches to the head or getting seriously hurt. Because there's a lot of kids, man, that be banging in the gym, and it's not good. It's a lot of bad trainers out here that don't know what they're doing at all.
Yeah. I get in with my kids, and my adults get in with my kids. Everybody at my gym, it's like a big family. Okay. We try to work together, and once they get to a certain point, like after the first month or so, we let them start sparring each other. Okay. But as far as an adult working with our children and stuff, we all do it.
Okay. Do y'all have doghouse sparring at y'all gym though? Cause now, like, that's the style since Mayweather and them may be promoting the doghouse boxing, where it's just 15 minutes around, or you don't stop until somebody get hurt. It was a lot of crunk wars. I'm from the famous crunk gym, so I was down there and I witnessed a lot of wars. I was in a lot of wars. Do you be having a lot of wars in your gym, or do you know kind of like how to balance it out as a referee, a former referee, former judge?
Yeah. We do 3-minute rounds, kids, females, whatever. When we spar on Sunday, invite other gyms over, we do the same thing. We try to match up equally, weight and everything. Not many about the bout wise, but as closely weight and stuff. And sometimes they work hard, sometimes they don't. Like we've had Michael Williams come over and spar Frank 8 rounds. But I mean, business is business. They work 6, and they box for 2.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I just I see a lot of wars in the gym, and I just be looking at some of these guys, and there's nothing I can say about it, nothing I can do about it. But I be like, man, why they let this guy go another round? And they be screaming. We talking about kids. They be like 10, 11 years old. They be like, come on, man, come on, man, what you doing? Come on. I'm like, man, he done get punished. Like I be like, man, y'all need to stop it. But what can I say? What can I do? It's not my gym. It's not my fighter.
Yeah. Well, trust me, it doesn't happen in my gym.
Good.
I'm not letting nobody get hurt in my gym.
That's
and
good.
I tell all the parents, when I think their child is ready to spar, if it's all right with them and they sign a waiver, I let them spar. Then we get busy.
Exactly.
And if they good enough.
Hey, you sound like Arsenio Hall. Let's get busy. You know about him. Did you watch the fight between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones?
Yes, I did.
Did you enjoy it?
And I know they drawed it, and I know I'm stepping sideways on your question.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was all right. It's what it was.
Yeah,
but I mean,
an event.
Yes, sir. Yeah. But
yeah.
It was all right for what I watched.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the draw though.
No, who you think won?
I think Mike did.
Mike won. but how could have Mike won, or how did Mike win when it was an exhibition? So it's really no winners. So that means that is
I understand that.
It was really a fight. It wasn't no exhibition.
Mike don't know how to exhibit. That's Mike knows how to fight.
What about let me ask one more question, James, and you got him. What about the fight? Do you think that they should allow Nate Robinson, who never had an amateur fight ever in his life, get in there with a guy, even though Jake Paul, was a YouTuber, he still had one pro fight. He still had experience of being in there. Do you think that the commission should have allowed them two to fight?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's what I want to know. I mean, because that means go ahead.
It's like when I put on my amateur shows.
Yeah.
I judge my people. I match them perfectly. If they got, I don't know if you know a whole lot about amateur boxing, but when you get 10 bouts and more, you're an open fighter.
Yeah.
And people say open fighter's an open fighter. Not to me.
Yeah.
If they got 10 bouts, I'm not putting a 10 bout guy with a 15, 20 bout person.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna match my shows equally, and that's why I have sellout crowds. I have
Yes.
standing room crowds.
Good.
They good bouts.
That's good. That's hey, listen, that's good. I like you already. You love the kids.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Terrence said, I guess he's saying this to all of us, or definitely to y'all too. I see greatness in y'all.
Yes.
Uh, uh, Tony, I want to ask you, as someone now, K9 has a son that's part of the amateur program. He, like you said, he didn't have that many amateur fights, only about 10. But as a referee and coach, USA, uh, can you tell me about the changes that you've seen during your experience? How have things changed in the last, say, 8 to 10 years?
In amateur boxing, you're asking.
Yes.
Amateurs, they're getting real strict on the amateurs, where they box. I get some clubs come to my gym, amateur boxers, and they kind of box dirty and stuff. I don't put up with that. In North Carolina, mostly, uh, they don't put up with a lot of dirty boxing and stuff, and that's the way it should be. They don't let you push and shove and like the pros do. Some of them think they pros already, but it's all about the kids, really.
I
Right.
agree.
And do you find, what do you find hardest to teach, the kids or the parents, to stay the hell out the way?
I tell you, I got a little 10-year-old boy. He's got 3 belts now. He's fought 1 year. And I've had to tell his mother to get away from the ring so many times.
Oh yeah.
but I mean, it's hard to
Okay.
control a parent,
Yes.
and I know everybody knows, they get in any sport, they're gonna get wild and crazy, and
Yeah.
they put for their kids, it's just that. But most of the time, the referees or the judges, they kind of keep them calm down, keep them away from the ring and stuff. But there's that 1 or 2 times they slip in there.
Have you seen an increase in the number of females that have gotten interested in amateur boxing?
Yes, sir. North Carolina has. South Carolina's got a lot of females. If it was up to me, I would have all kids and females on my shows, my amateur shows. I'm telling you,
They
people
fight the
love to
hardest.
watch. Yeah, they love to watch females and kids box.
Yes. They be scrapping. They scrap the hardest. For real.
I got a female pro. She's Ebony Rivera. She's 8-1.
Yeah.
We working on some stuff for her,
Yeah.
and hopefully it's gonna come about first of the year.
That's good.
But
yeah, maybe we can get her on the show.
Yeah. Absolutely.
we can if you let me know what you want to do, and I'll get her on there.
All right, we'll as they say in Hawaii, book it, Dano. So,
Yes.
Old school for real, boy. Hey, y'all both old school, boy. I feel like a young man on here. Shoot, I'm old school too. I'm pushing 50. Hey, but you know
Man,
what? Hey, listen. Let me tell you though, old money still spend.
There you go.
T-
Any way you look, it sure does.
Absolutely. So
Tony, do you recognize that old man over there? The participant. Did you win season? You won season 2, didn't you, K9?
No, I won a bronze medal. Yeah, I won a bronze medal on a reality show, The Contender. Do you remember that show called The Contender with Sylvester Stallone and Sugar Ray Leonard?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was on season 2.
Okay.
Yeah, K9. I always, when the camera was on me, I was So it was kind of hard to forget who I was, and then I was winning. As long as you win, shoot, everybody will be your friend.
Two-time junior middleweight champion of the world.
Yeah.
So
I won two
Yep.
world titles. I beat Corey Spinks in his hometown. Took his title from him in St. Louis. Then I defended it, and where he stay at in Indio, California on Showtime. Yeah. So
Okay.
and then I lost it unfortunately to Ishe Smith on a Mayweather Golden Boy undercard in my hometown. And then he lost it his very next fight. Then I went and took it from Carlos Molina in Cancun, Mexico, and became the oldest world champion in junior middleweight history.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's why I say old money still spent.
There
He-
you
he-
go. Yes, sir.
Yes, and I just fought.
Yeah.
Actually, I just fought November the 7th, and where I fight November 7th. In Florida, in Florida. I'm so thinking about all these different cities. I don't fought United Kingdom, Germany, Cancun, Mexico. I mean, man. But one thing I noticed though, or that done happened in my career though, James and Tony, is that once you go to these fights, like for instance, I don't really know where I'm at sometimes because if I'm fighting at the Staples Center, I could tell somebody, okay, I'm fighting in LA at the Staples Center. But majority of the times, I just know that I'm fighting in a certain city, but never know where I'm going or where I'm at. Because once I get to the airport, they come pick me up. They take me to the hotel. I go fight. They take me to the fight. They take me back to the hotel, and I go home. So
Yeah.
it's just,
Uh,
Well,
it's
that's
like,
good.
yeah. And then what boxing does for a lot of young people, which is good. One of the good things, one of the perks in boxing, is that it helps a young person to see the whole world as an
Yes.
amateur, as a pro, and that's really good for young men and young people. The bad could be if you take too many punches. You need to have a good coach like Tony Burgess. Tony Burgess is right. James King, shoot, James King would be a good coach. And of course, K9 boxing. So yeah, yep. But no, I appreciate you, Tony, man. I really like your knowledge, man. I appreciate that you are actually a referee. So you're a referee fights, you judge fights. So that means that you really pay attention to what's going on. You know how to punch, what punches will land that be points, and how many punches a person should take before you stop it because you don't stop fights before, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, so that's really good. I mean, maybe you could give me some pointers on how to be a referee because I want to be a referee one day, and I'll be judging fights, and my wife be like, listen, just because you're a two-time world champ, don't mean that you know what you know because she be like, no, he lost that round. I'd be like, what did you call Tony? Let me call Tony. Did I win that round? Did he win that round, Tony? He was holding and hugging.
I've judged some fights and they call it differently, and I'm thinking, man, what? We're not looking at the same people fighting here, or what? But I mean, I know everybody's got their own opinions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I say that too, but some of her decisions you make me wonder. K9, you got to know who I'm talking about when I say her decisions. But anyway, I don't want to mention no names, But Tony, yes, we will definitely have to get your fighter on the show, and I was hoping that we could get your son on, after his debut. But I understand, he wanted to take some time off and whatnot. Probably still got that excitement of winning his first fight and whatnot. But why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social media, and especially tell us where we can find this young lady if she's on any social media also, because we want to get her on the show.
Yeah, Ebony Rivera. They call her the Storm. She's from Fayetteville. She lives here in Fayetteville. She's a great fighter. She hasn't fought in a couple of years. She had a tune-up fight last month, I believe it was, over in Columbia, South Carolina. She won that fight and knocked out. But it was a good fight. She's a good fighter. And my son, he's like I say, he's in the military. Next time we get on the show, I'll make sure he's there. He was in the gym earlier today, just getting a little workout in. I'll try to have all my guys there.
We always love to promote the young guys and the youthful fighters, and we look forward to having you back. Any last words, K9?
Oh man, listen, pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to you. Keep up the good work. Kids are the future, And with good guys like you, doing what you're doing, man, helping these kids, man, it's gonna continue to be the future. And thank you for being on
Yes,
the
sir.
show.
Yes, sir. Anytime you want to come to Burgess Boxing and Fitness, 208 North Main Street, Spring Lake, North Carolina. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. No favoritism now. Don't be
No,
punching me in the
no
stomach.
uh, K9, I
Uh,
can take you right there. I know exactly where he's at.
yeah, right. I'm trying to figure out. Tyrone says his first name Julie James. I wonder who he talking about.
I'm not sure. Well, you have a great night, Tony. Thank
All
you
right,
so
Tony.
much
All
for
right,
coming on the
TB.
show.
All right, now.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
You know what TB stand for other than Tony Burgess, right? Is taking care of business. Keep taking care
That's
of
it.
business.
That's what I do, too.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you.
All right, brother.
All right.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
All right, no doubt.
Well,
Yeah.
K9, man, I think we had a pretty good show tonight.
Yeah.
Tyrone, and then I thought you'd appreciate Mr. Weber.
Yeah.
As
absolutely.
I said,
Yeah, you surprised me with that one. Yeah.
Well, he kind of surprised me too because it was I called him and right away he said yeah, I'm cool, so
Okay.
he was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing, how we can get people to come on the show just at the drop of a hat like
Absolutely.
that,
Yeah.
and I mean,
No, I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say I'll try to get Tyrone back on the line, but I think he had to actually go to sleep, because he got to go to work. He got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but hey, he ain't doing the hardest work he doing is watching his back. He ain't other than that, but most of the time, everybody got a routine. He come in, he do his routine.
Yeah.
Prisoners do their routine.
Yeah.
That's you talk about repetition, buddy. Hey,
Yeah.
Ain't no fun. It ain't no fun when the other guy got the key.
Yeah.
To your
exactly right. Hey, Vince said another awesome show too. We appreciate you, Vince.
Yeah. So, yeah, K9. Well, it's about that time. K9's corner, man. What's happening?
Man, listen, at K9's corner, boy, it's a lot of stuff going on at K9's corner. But I really want to just tell the people that's on here, and if they got kids and they training kids to, just be patient because everybody get a turn, just like a doorknob. Everybody get a turn. See, some people want that opportunity or they want it too fast. So that's why you got a lot of people out here doing all the crazy stuff that they're doing. Just be patient. Everybody get a turn. Your turn might come a little bit later than somebody else's turn, but don't be envy of a person getting an opportunity before you get yours. My opportunity didn't come until, say I turned 37 years old. You know what I'm saying? And if you'd have told me it was gonna come that late, then I would have did something else for my career. But I was patient. Like they say, good things come to those that wait. I waited. You know what I'm saying? I won a world title. I lost a title. You know what I'm saying? I was upset, didn't know what to do, and then God blessed me to win a title again. So I just want people just to be patient, even with this stuff that's going on, this COVID and everything. Man, be patient. It's gonna blow over. You know what I mean? And just make sure you do your homework because, it's a lot of stuff going on. I've been seeing all kind of, pictures and all that of people taking the vaccine and all that. Just whatever you do, man, keep God first. Talk to your family. You know what I'm saying? Just make the right decision because once you win it, you win it. And what's going to happen, it happened, And, I throw my hands up, man. Just be safe out here, be safe out here. Like I say, your turn going to come. You know what I'm saying? You go, hey, be great on purpose like my guy Ryan would say. Be great on purpose, man. Just be great, Always good talking to you, James, man. And I like that, we got people actually tapping in like never before. We got great guests, we got a great audience, and I'm just happy, man. And we got a great. I don't know what to call SB. A great. What should I call you, babe? A great. What is she, James?
She's an engineer.
She's
an engineer.
She said she wanted to go to school for that too. We got a great engineer. She getting all these opportunities. They be calling me. We got rappers and everything. Tomorrow, man, can I pay her to do my live? So she doing a great job, man. And I just want to say, man, shout out to all the fans, all the boxing fans, all the veterans. You know what I'm saying? all the veterans, like my man James, man, for holding us down, man, and having a heart to jump out of airplanes, doing all of what they do, man. So it's one thing that go out there and put the gloves on, but to jump out of the airplane, oh my goodness, I'm scared to get in the airplane. I've been scared for years, but hey, it is what it is. Though it took me a long time, James, man, to get in an airplane, boy. I turned so many fights down. They were so much, man, you gotta fly. I said, fly where? I said, I'm not Michael Jordan. I can't even dunk. I'm not. I said airplane. I said airplane. I said, man, are you crazy? Oh man, but I did it. My first fight I fought was on the Mike Tyson undercard. I couldn't turn that down. I said, well, you know what I'm saying? If it's my time, it's my time. I got on that bug. I got on my mug, boy, and was scared to death. But hey, I kept faith, man, kept praying, and I won my fight out there in Memphis, Tennessee. At the time, it was the biggest pay-per-view fight of all time. And that was the first time that Showtime and HBO actually did business together. It was when Mike Tyson fought Lennox Lewis. And another thing a lot of people don't know about that card is that Manny Pacquiao fought on that undercard. People didn't even know who Manny Pacquiao was. It was just some little Chinese. He was kind of arrogant then. I don't think he was, he was saved, but he was a little arrogant then. I want to thump him in his head. Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, man. It's tell James I said true. Okay, Tyrone said to tell you true.
Okay.
Yeah, he said true. Yeah, tell James I said true. Yeah, man. But no, like I say, man, we had a great show, man. I can't wait to see the fight this weekend. I mean, who you think will win? Canelo or Caleb Smith?
Oh man, look.
You had it right. You said, "Oh man." You said, "Oh man." You said, "Oh man." You right. But which man?
Canelo.
Canelo.
No, look.
He distracted
Canelo.
though. He distracted.
Canelo.
Yeah, go ahead.
But he's still the cash cow.
Cash cow. Okay.
He's still a cash cow.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he's not even the cash cow. Right now, he's still the golden goose.
The golden goose. Well, he's animal, whatever it is. Cash cow, golden goose,
well,
lion in the ring.
The point is that as long as you got a cow or a goose that's giving you profit, you keep it. You don't put it at harm's risk. Caleb Smith is a good fighter, but he's not a Canelo. Look, if you want to put Canelo, put him in there with a Charlo, put him in there with some, put him in there with a Boo Boo.
Yeah,
with a Boo Boo. Yeah, come on, let's see what you really got.
Yeah.
Right now he's fighting safe.
Okay.
He's fighting fighters that he's not supposed to lose to, or that are not supposed to make him look bad.
Exactly. So as a fight fan though, and you being a fight fan, a real fight fan, a real guy that really knows boxing, do you want to see him fight the best? But as a fan of boxing who don't really know boxing, they just like the fact that he winning. They don't care who he fights.
Right. That's the difference. A fan. A fan just like you are. We're gonna watch the fight.
Yeah.
But we're gonna watch it from a different perspective. Absolutely. We're not gonna watch it from the almighty Canelo. Yeah. We're gonna watch it from, could he fight that good against Charlo? Could he fight that good against some of the other? He got a light heavyweight title that he doesn't want to defend. My boy that we had on last week, the one that's fighting this weekend, Ramirez. Come on up to light heavy. Let's see what you can do. Mm-hmm. Those are the fights that I would like to see.
Yeah. Oh, you want to see Canelo, who started off at, I think he started off at welterweight, to go all the way up to junior middleweight. He only about 5'6", 5'7".
But he also went up there and got a light heavyweight title.
Yeah.
So what you gonna do? You gonna wait till you get another guy that's undersized and under talented, and then you gonna fight him. You know,
Hey, you heard them dogs barking, right? You know, hey, listen.
yeah.
At the time when I was current champ, you see, he ran away from that bark. He didn't want to get bit.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
just you can't. Floyd set the blueprint,
yes.
and you cannot blame these guys for following.
There you
You know,
go. There you go. And
so,
you're right. And you know what? Floyd taught Canelo first. Remember, Canelo fought
yeah,
Floyd.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Canelo was like, you know what? I'm gonna fight who I want to fight. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna make sure I win. They ain't gonna be ready, or they gonna be old and ready to go.
See, and if this COVID keeps up and
Yeah,
stays the way it is,
yeah,
it don't it might be in Canelo's best interest
yeah.
to do the same thing that Floyd did and say, y'all take all these belts and shove them, and I'll
Yeah,
do
yeah.
mine.
Do you think though this COVID is actually good for boxing? Because it seems like it's forcing these fighters to actually fight each other. Because you can't make the money without no gate. So for you to make the money, you gotta fight on pay-per-view, or you gotta fight the best that's out here.
But see, now you can pick and choose your crowd, as our guest just told us.
Okay.
Mike, he doesn't need a fight to happen in the United States. He can book a fight in Spain and make just as much money as if not more, because he's gonna get paid in liras.
Yeah.
He's not gonna get paid in dollars.
But,
Or maybe you get depending on where you fight. If it's in the East, you be fighting for reals, which is 2.5 times as much as worth as $1.
But
So,
they probably they ain't allowing no one from America to go over there. Didn't that come from over there somewhere in China or something? That COVID.
well, that's where it came from. That they say that
Yeah.
it came from China.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
and Tyson
Yeah.
and Anthony Joshua fight,
Yeah.
it's not going to be in England.
Where's it gonna be at?
It's not.
Where's it gonna be at?
It's going to be in Saudi Arabia. It's going to be. It's going to be where they got a whole lot of money.
Oil.
It's going. It's going to be someplace like Abu Dhabi or something like that, where you got to have your own plane to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
They regular flights don't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's
it's pretty,
they got
yeah.
That's why Amir Khan from over there, man. He ain't want to fight now I don't know how long, but he constantly making money.
Hey, you can go over there and get that oil money, man.
Yeah.
Shoot. They talk about wind and sun and all like that, but right now everybody still need oil.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Errol Spence. Do you think Errol Spence is in the top 10, top 15? I mean, at first he left the list because they didn't know if he was gonna fight again after the accident. But off that performance he had against Danny Garcia, oh my goodness, is he number 1, number 2, top 5? Where you got Errol Spence at?
I asked Errol Spence out of the top 5.
Wow, off that performance.
Especially off that performance.
Wow, you talking about Errol Spence? The truth?
The truth.
Wow, is that the truth you're telling me?
The truth got hit too much. Especially to the body.
14 months. He been off.
Quarantine,
car accident.
Well, then he should have took a tune-up fight.
I mean, Danny Garcia looked like it was the tune-up for me.
He tuned Danny up.
Yeah.
But there were.
I got you.
Well, I think the best performance of Danny Garcia's corner was his dad.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of things that his father told him to do he couldn't do.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know whether it was, Earl Spence the reason why he couldn't do it, or was it? I mean, Danny has also been in some wars. I mean, this wasn't Danny's first fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Danny been in some fights before.
Yeah.
So the difference is that he come out on the other end.
Yeah. That's
But
true.
Danny, with Danny showed the rest on Errol Spence. He showed Errol what he needs to work on.
Okay.
I wouldn't rush into a fight with
Crawford.
Terence Crawford right now.
Okay.
I would take one more fight before I did Terence Crawford. But then on the other hand, I mean, Terence, what did you do with Terence, man? I mean, he takes 3 rounds, fighting you the conventional way to see what you got.
Yeah.
And then he turns southpaw and it's lights out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, I was worried. I was worried. I thought Kell Brook was gonna probably mess that money up because he was touching Crawford up. Crawford had a nice little shiny. First couple of rounds, he had a little shiny. He was forced to turn southpaw because being orthodox wasn't getting it.
Well, but then I mean, isn't that the way most of his fights went? I mean, either he goes one way, and then as soon as he sees that fighter's got that way figured out, he has that adaptability where he can go either righty or lefty, whichever one is needed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everything that you had figured out in first 4 rounds, and I'm touching him, and wow, where did that come from? Why am I looking at the floor? What happened? So I mean, it's I like Bud, but I don't know if I really like the fight between him and Errol Spence.
Okay. Why is that? Inquiring minds want to know.
Well, because Errol still, like you say, 14 months.
Yeah.
And I mean, Errol looked into the eyes of God, man. I mean,
Man, listen, say it, man.
So I mean, I don't know if the body could take the amount of work that Terence would give him, but I do one thing that I did see that I think that Errol just might have the edge in quickness.
Earl Spence got the edge and quickness.
Yeah.
What about power? That's what's gonna come down. Errol got that power.
If it comes down to power, Terence, I think it's Terence all the way. If it
You
comes
do?
down to power.
Hey, look, Errol Spence is the bigger guy. Errol Spence is a big boy. I mean, he was big. I mean, when he got in there with Danny Garcia felt that power.
Was he big or was Terence? I mean, was Errol big or was Danny small?
Yeah, Danny not a small guy himself. I think Danny thought that Errol Spence was done. I thought that he probably, what I'm saying, he probably went into that fight a little overconfident because he had just had a car accident. So I think that Danny was like, oh yeah, when I hit him one time, it's gonna be over with. And to his surprise, to my surprise too, man, Errol looked like he was better than he was before the accident. Like he's really serious. He came into camp for this fight at 160, and he normally come into camp at 190. So that was a 30-pound difference.
Yeah, but a lot of that was because just recovery. So a lot now. One thing, like you say, he come in there 160, but he come in there 160 of muscle.
Yeah.
Because he coming off that rehab.
Yeah,
so he's coming in there as muscle. He's not coming in there as fat and all that. I mean, he was a fine, well-tuned machine. Now, if he can keep that, if he can keep that up. But I mean, hey,
man, I put him in
like
top
you
5.
say though.
James, he in the top 5. He in the top. Who was your top 5? Can you give me an order? Your top 5.
Well, I would say Bud, Canelo, uh, Gravante.
Okay.
Um, um, let me think here.
Okay.
I said Canelo, right? Let's see. Bud, Canelo, Gravante,
Canelo,
um,
Devontae. I got three. That's
Tyson
three.
Fury,
Tyson Fury. That's
Tyson
four.
Fury, and
Spence. Earl. The truth.
uh,
Look,
no,
you shaming him.
one,
You don't want to put him
one,
out there.
140.
Who? 140?
Yeah, 140.
At 140. Oh, Tifimo?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Tifimo. Wow.
And then maybe Earl. He might be 6 or 7.
Then okay, then well, at least he in the top 10 then, right?
Yeah, I never said he was out the top 10.
Right.
I never put him out the top 10.
But hold on. So you said that you said you thought that Errol probably would beat Terence, right?
No, I said that I thought
Okay.
that Terrence
Okay.
would beat
Okay. So
Earl.
okay.
You
So
know,
okay.
I said that I thought, even though I thought that Earl might be quicker
I got you. Okay.
than Terrence, I said I think that Terrence has the most power.
Oh.
That's
Oh, okay.
that's where we kind of differ.
Okay. I think it's opposite. I think that Terrence is quicker and Errol got the more power. I think because I tell you, man, Terence Crawford, he coming from 140. Errol Spence fights at welterweight, walk around weighing 190. But hey, that's why it's the dog pound. A bark, a
Yeah.
bite, a overhand right.
Yeah.
uh,
So, well, then shit. So I should ask you, what is it easier to come down, or is it easier to go up?
oh, you know what? It's always easier to go up because you walk around up anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, shoot, coming down is the harder part. It depends on if you Floyd
So,
Mayweather, because
so,
like Floyd,
so,
he stay at his
so,
weight.
Earl got to lose 20, 30 pounds, and Terrence has to gain 10.
Yeah. No. You know what? I think that Terence Crawford. I think he didn't actually grew into being a welterweight. At first, I don't think he was a big welterweight. He kind of grew
Oh,
into it, and I think
yeah.
Errol Spence. I think he's starting to keep his weight down now. Like you say, he saw God. You know what I mean? He woke up. You know what I'm saying? That car accident that got him really focused. I don't think he out clubbing and all that. I think he really taking not just boxing serious, but life more serious, and probably spending time with his kids and staying at home more. So, and that's keeping him
Okay.
more disciplined.
Now, what about Canelo and Errol Spence at 167?
Okay, you said that say one more time. You said who?
Canelo and Errol Spence at 167.
Oh, 167. Why not 68? Because the weight class is 68. Why not
Well,
168?
yeah, 168.
There
Okay.
you go. Make your own weight class. 167.
Canelo been doing it for the last so many years, so I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
he
Oh
might
man.
want it. He might want it at 165 and a half. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean,
Man, boy, listen, I like Errol and I'm happy he came back and may God be with him. But yeah, he definitely don't need to step into no 168 against no Canelo. Oh no, listen, he gonna feel that accident. I accidentally got in the ring with the wrong person. I should have waited on that Terence Crawford fight. No, he better stay away from Canelo at 168. No, please. Listen, man. Canelo at 168, boy, listen, boy, I got a lot more respect for Canelo. When he was fighting at 154 and he was a little more green, I felt like I could have got him at the time. I think Golden Boy knew it too. Cause I remember when I beat Corey Spinks, my wife had showed me a video of when Oscar had did like this, hit one of his partners, was like, look, that's why we ain't fighting K9. You know what I'm saying? But then as the time went by, Canelo gained a lot of experience. He fought Floyd, even though he didn't beat Floyd. How much experience you think he got from fighting Floyd? A lot of experience. He ain't lost since. And now he the highest paid athlete. I mean, the highest paid basketball player. He one of the highest paid athletes in the world. So I think he
He
gained a
used
lot of
to be,
experience.
yeah.
I mean, gained a lot of
He,
experience. He got to be talking about
he,
some
he,
expense.
he used to be up until I guess a couple of days ago when Giannis, you know, got paid that big money from the Milwaukee Bucks. But
Yeah, heard about that. Yeah, that
yeah.
boy, a freak of the nation. Oh, got Giannis. Oh man, that boy, a beast. He probably the best player in NBA. What you think right now? You think he better than LeBron? I know that's for your other show you got, but you think he better than LeBron?
I don't know about that.
You don't know?
Right now, you got to remember.
Are you from
LeBron,
Ohio? What am I talking about?
yeah,
LeBron,
no, I'm not. I'm not really a LeBron fan. I mean,
okay.
Just because of that rivalry, that Youngstown. I mean, it'd be like Detroit, Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter how good the fight is out of Chicago, Detroit is gonna be better. It's just the way it is. Yeah. So, but yeah, no. Right. I mean, there's a possibility, but you talking about guys that have only been in the league like 4 or 5 years. LeBron been in the league almost 20 years, man.
Yeah, that's true. He got great longevity. You're right.
Yeah. So now if you want to talk about somebody that's made money, there's probably no athlete that's made more money than LeBron in the time that he's been there. I mean, see, just Space Jam. You talk Mike Tyson. That new Space Jam movie is gonna make money.
Oh, it's a new Space Jam coming out with LeBron James.
Yeah, Space Jam 2. Yeah, LeBron.
His brand.
LeBron.
You think his brand gonna ever catch up with Michael Jordan brand? Cause he close. They trying to compare him to Mike right now.
Well, hey, Mike sells shoes.
Yeah.
LeBron sell everything.
LeBron sell everything.
He sell everything.
Man.
LeBron sells shoes, jackets, ties, pens.
Yeah.
It's all about LeBron James.
Who the greatest? Huh? Who the greatest? LeBron or Mike?
Oh, Mike.
Okay. Who's second? LeBron or Kobe Bryant?
LeBron.
Wow. I don't know. You think I'm XSB. You think Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron? Yeah. Okay. She said yeah.
Well, hey, I understand that. She's, like 30, 40 years younger than me, so I understand.
No, what'd you say? You said LeBron better? Oh, she said Kobe. Yeah, she said Kobe. Okay. Yeah, 'cause I had to really think about what she said. Okay. Hey, that's why that's the dog pound. Everybody got an opinion, right?
And that's from somebody that's a LeBron hater. I'm a LeBron hater and a Kobe hater because I thought that because I took Shaq's side, in that little feud between him and Kobe. So but when you start talking about the top 3 basketball players in the world, actually the top 4, because my number 1, would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
That would be my number 1.
That hook, huh?
That sky hook. Plus if you go back and look at it, me and him were pretty close to the same age. So I watched him all the way through high school, junior high school, before he was Kareem. I remember when he was Lou Alcindor. So,
wow. Yeah, you taking me way back. Hey, look, I bet you don't know who my favorite basketball player is. And it ain't Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. He played with the Pistons. He played with the Pistons.
I said it's probably Isaiah Thomas.
Exactly. Isaiah Thomas. Sure. Hey, you a smart man. How you know that?
I remember the Bad Boys. The Bad Boys, actually the first basketball T-shirt that I ever bought was the Bad Boys. That was the Bad Boys when they won the championship.
Right.
The black T-shirt, they had the Bad Boys on the front. Yeah. And on the back, it had Isaiah, Joe Dumars, Bill Lambier, who was my other man, because he'd knock you out real quick. He didn't care. He was a bully. The black
Bill
dude.
Lambier? Are you talking about Rick
No,
Mahorn?
Rick Mahorn. Yeah, Rick Mahorn.
Rick Mahorn, that's right.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't take. If you go up in the paint and you see Rick Mahorn or Bill Lambier there, it's time for you to throw the ball back out to somebody outside, because
Yeah,
you ain't going.
absolutely. And,
You know,
Vinny Johnson, the microwave used to heat it up. I used to work for Vinny Johnson. He had a business. I used to work for him. Yeah, the microwave. He used to call me Muscles. Yeah,
I remember Dennis Rodman when he played for the whole 9 yards. Yeah,
man,
like
I sold Dennis Rodman a candy bar. I was happy as I don't know what. I was a kid. I told everybody at the mall. I was like, I just sold Dennis Rodman a candy bar. I said, anybody that bought a candy bar for me, I told them that Dennis Rodman was there. If they ain't bought a candy bar, I ain't tell them nothing. He had on. I remember this day he had on some Avias. He had some Avias on. This is when Dennis Rodman was sane though. He wasn't insane at the time. He was sane. No tattoos, skinny, long legs. I think that girl did him. I think she did him in. I don't want to blame her, but I heard a lot of bad stuff about her. I think she actually. Yeah, no, not Madonna. It was the girl he was with before Madonna.
Oh, okay.
The Madonna before Madonna. That's right.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, I think from what I heard, though, to be honest with you, from what I heard, that she got around. Yeah, she got around the whole Piston team. it was bad. So I see why he went crazy, because she was no ugly female at all. So I see kind of like why he went. He was open. You know what I mean?
No,
I ain't no gay guy, no, but come on, man.
He went open after that. He wasn't.
Oh my goodness, he wasn't wearing eyeliner and everything. Look, lipstick. I say, man.
He didn't come out the closet. He just blew up the house. He just like, damn, here I am, boom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't no baby steps. It was like, it was a full blown run.
Yeah. But Carmen Electra. Yeah, Ego Sports said Carmen Electra. You right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can't believe that. You remember we had Ruth on here. We had Ruth on here. Ruth, the FMA student. He said Teofimo Lopez is a pound for pound best fighter in the world. Sorry, he good, but number one.
I put him in my top 5.
You put him in your top 5?
Yeah, don't you remember? I put him in my top 5.
Yeah, you did. You sure did. Hey, listen, I think he the throwback fighter of the year, because he willing to fight any and everybody. A lot of those guys in that weight class, like Devin Haney and those guys, I think a lot of them are just, they talk. I think Devin Haney, he another guy. I think Devin Haney will step to the plate and fight any of them guys. But some of the other guys, I think they just talking just to keep their name out there.
He has no power though, man.
Huh?
He might fight any of them, but he don't have no power. He don't have enough power to keep anybody off of him.
Oh, who talking about Gary?
No, I'm talking about Devin Haney.
Oh, Haney, okay. But he a winner. One thing about him, he hung around Mayweather enough to be a winner.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that he, but there's some people that he just ain't gonna win against.
I remember when we had him on the show, I didn't even know he had actually trained with us before. He was like, K9, I trained at Crunks with you before. And I'm like, oh, you did? He was a little kid, so, I didn't remember him, How many little kids, grow up and become, world champions like yourself and actually, do bigger things than that you did. So I was surprised you heard me though.
He's a great fighter. He just doesn't have no power. That's the only thing wrong. I mean, if he has some pop,
Can you teach power? Now you talk to Emmanuel Stewart all them nights, all 4 o'clock in the morning with that Wild Irish Rose.
No, you can't teach power.
You can't teach power. He told you that, or you know that?
Mike Tyson told me that.
Oh, Mike Tyson told you that. Oh.
all you had to do was watch.
Okay. Yeah.
You can't teach power.
Okay.
Now, and if you want to go even deeper, Deontay Wilder shows you that you can't teach power.
I mean, he was born with it.
Right. I mean, the one thing it seems that you can't teach is skill. Because I mean that was the two things that Mike and Deontay lacked.
Yeah, yeah.
But they brought but if he hits you in your elbow, your knees gonna hurt.
Yeah,
So I mean
yeah.
that's the way it goes.
Right. I think you.
And I
I
you
know, huh? No, no,
Come
no.
on now. You,
You could,
you built your whole career on power. What are you talking about? Come on.
but you could teach how to punch correct. And if you punch correct, it could actually you can end up having some power behind that.
Yeah, but what Mike Tyson say? Everybody got a plan until they get hit, right?
Absolutely. A lot-
Then the power will come out. Wait
yeah.
a minute, I ain't got to put up with this. No,
Exactly. A lot of power. Ooh, I'm through. I'm done. Right. Yeah.
yeah,
A lot of guys think they want to box until they step into that ring for that first time. Hey,
yeah,
look.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
who wants somebody jabbing you in your face 25 times
Yeah.
for the next half hour,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
every once in a while throwing a hook or an uppercut and stuff. No, come on,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. I started this when I first started boxing, and I had that headache the first day I sparred. I was like, oh no, these guys hit back. I was used to doing it on the streets. They wasn't hitting back. It was night night. Man, them guys hitting back. I said, man, I don't know. I'm having headaches every day, boy, sparring. I say, man. But thank God I hung in there though. I
Yeah.
see Earl Kenner says shout out to the dog pound.
Well, let's get up out of here, man.
All right, man. Hey, listen, you got any social media? I'm at K Down Boxing on everything. From the YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I mean, that's where I'm at,
Good.
and I'm at the gym, Title Boxing, at on Bloomfield. If you in Michigan, I'm at World Best in Detroit, and I'm at a gym called Gold's Gym on Hoover and Warren. And James, where you at when you trying to tap in?
Well, I
You
tell
ready
you,
tapping in? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm on Facebook. Excuse me.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook, J.E. King the Third.
Yeah.
That'll get you everything. That'll get
Okay.
you here to the dog pound. That'll
Yeah.
get you to the sports crib. And
Yeah.
if you really want to know what I thought about our ex-president,
Yeah.
you can catch me on my political show on Monday. K9 always try to call me on Mondays when I be talking trash
Yeah.
about but that's all right though.
Yeah.
But so you can always catch me and I always say what's on my mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not, like they
Yeah.
say, this is the dog pound. I
Absolutely.
don't bark. I might not bark. I'm more of the snake. I rattle.
Yeah.
Canine barks.
Yeah, that's right. And Eagle Sports said good show too, man. Eagle Sports said good show. Thank everybody for actually coming on the live with us, man. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you on a dog pound next Tuesday at 9 p.m.
All right, man. You have a good one, man. Have
You
a good
too.
one.
All right, y'all. One love. Yeah.